Hi, Odin Natal here. Today we're reviewing the Lenovo Smart Tab P10 10.1 inch Android tablet. Now, this tablet I have because I wanted to find an inexpensive tablet where I could basically play some simple to moderate games like you would play on a cell phone and have a much bigger screen than you would have on a cell phone. But I didn't want to spend a lot of money. So I did some shopping around on Amazon and I found this device for about $200 at the time. This has been out for about 2 years. This is July of 2020. This device was released in the year of 2018. So it's a couple of years old, but it's a very nice, low-cost unit that just runs beautifully. I'll go over all the specs in a second. I would consider this device to be a mid-range tablet just simply because of its construction and its power and performance. But it comes at a low-end price because it is a couple of years old. And if you watch Amazon or maybe some other stores for a little bit, you can wait until the price drops. So like I said, this one was about $200. The price will fluctuate, but if you wait, you might be able to find it again for such a price or maybe even lower. And it is a steal at that price. And it comes with a docking station, which is Alexa enabled. Alexa built in with the docking station as well as with the tablet. I can tell by holding this tablet that it's pretty sturdy. It has a good bit of weight to it and it's very solid. You can tell it's not made from a bunch of junk plastic parts. It has a glass screen on front and the frame itself is made of aluminum with glass backing. So very solid. Now the glass is very smooth both on the front and the back, which is a good thing for the screen as your finger can slide easily over it. On the back, it is just as smooth, which might be kind of a problem because it does make the unit slippery. So when you're holding it, it might start to slip through your fingers. And also, the edges are aluminum, which, like I said, are very sturdy, but also it's a little sharp, especially around the bottom. So sometimes that can be a little uncomfortable resting it on your fingers. And so that's why I use a case with my tablet. It gives it some extra thickness and it's not slippery. It has a good grip, so you can get a good grip on your tablet and it won't slip out of your hands. So I definitely recommend getting a case with your tablet. But for the rest of the review, I'm going to keep the cover off just so you can see the tablet itself. Now I'm going to go over some obvious physical features of the tablet. Here, right there's your power button. Here is your volume down and up. Here on the bottom, you have the port to use the dock. That's where it will sit and make contact with the docking station. Here and here are the speakers on the bottom. You got two on the bottom and you have two on the top, here and here. You actually have 4 speakers. Now here you have a jack for earphones. This is another way to power the unit. The first way is to put it in a docking station. This is a port for a USB-C USB cord, which comes with the unit. And this little hole here is the microphone. And this hole here and the tray goes across there. It's probably a little hard to see on the camera. That is your tray to put in an SD card for extra storage. And down here is the fingerprint reader. Up here is the front-facing camera. And back here, whoop. Back here is the rear-facing camera and the light. And now let's go over some of the specs. The processor is a Snapdragon 450 at 1.8 GHz, 8-core. The process is 14 nanometers with an architecture of 64-bit. The operating system is Android 8 Oreo, upgrades to Android 9 Pie. The display is a 10.1-inch, 1920 by 1200 LCD IPS display. Memory 4 GB. Webcam. Front 5 megapixels fixed focus, rear 8 megapixels autofocus. Storage 64 gigabytes internal. The card slot, micro SD, supports up to 256 gigabytes. Dimensions 242 millimeters wide by 167 millimeters high by 7 millimeters thick. Weight is 440 grams or 15.52 ounces. The case material is glass back cover with aluminum frame. Battery 7,000 milliamp hours, lithium ion polymer. Battery life, standby time is about 2 weeks, online video playback is about 12 hours, and browsing time is about 12 hours. It has a fingerprint reader. The visual assistant experience is Alexa built in. Audio support is 4 front-facing speakers. The wireless LAN is 802.11, ABGNAC 1x1 dual band with Bluetooth 4.2. The tablet is boxed with Android 8 Oreo, which will upgrade to Android 9 Pie, or at least it did for me. When I got it out of the box, the first thing I turned it on, it automatically started running through some updates, and one of those was updating from Android 8 to Android 9 Pie. This display is a 1920 by 1200 LCD, and is very crisp, very clear. And the size of the screen from corner to corner diagonal is 10.1 inches. So you get a very good resolution for a screen of this size. And here are some actual screenshots just to show you how high definition the display actually is. And now a screen capture of a movie clip to show you the quality of the display for a video. And the brightness works very well. It can get very dim all the way to nearly invisible, and bright all the way up to there. So indoors the brightness is great. Let's take it outdoor and see how it does there. Here the tablet is in direct sunlight on full brightness, and it is bright enough just to be able to make out what's on the screen. There is a bit of an issue with the reflectivity of the screen. It's a shiny screen, so you can see yourself being reflected in it. To fix the brightness, you can turn it into your own shadow. So you put the tablet in your own shadow, that helps the brightness a little bit. And then if you tilt the screen a few degrees, that'll get rid of your reflection. And right there I tilted it, so I kind of get rid of your reflection, and that's not interfering with your view of the screen. So it is workable out in the bright sun. Especially if you put it in your own shadow, you can definitely work with it that way. Now I'm moving to out in the deck, out in the porch. It's bright sunlight again, and now I'm in the shade, so it looks a lot better. So if you can find shade when you're out on a sunny day, it's going to look decently well. Again, it could be a little brighter, but it's very workable. The processor on the Lenovo P10 is fast enough to keep up with any kind of chores or tasks that you're doing on the tablet. It will perform with little or no lag. And as for games, the processor and its graphics processing unit is fast enough to keep up with simple games and moderate to medium games. And it even does a pretty good job on fully immersible 3D games. It's games like first-person shooters, FPS games, where you're actually inside a 3D environment, which is very graphics intensive. And I was surprised how the processor actually keeps up pretty well with those. Now, I will say one thing. Like I said, I got this tablet mainly to play video games and the kind of games that I would play on a cell phone. So that's your simple to moderate type of games. The really 3D intensive games, like your first person shooters and whatnot, I have a PC. I think you should play those type of games on a PC. It's much more powerful than any kind of a tablet or a cell phone would be. That's just my opinion. I know some people probably like to play 3D games on the tablet. To get that kind of performance where you have a very clear, crisp, and smooth frame rate to play 3D games on a tablet, you're going to be spending a lot more than $200. You're probably up in the at least the $600 to $700 range, maybe $1,000 or more to get that kind of performance. At any rate, I did put a couple of 3D games on here just to check them out, and they don't run great, but if you really wanted to play a 3D game on here, it does a decent job. I would say it's okay. The frame rate's a little low. It's a little choppy, but they do look good. And like I said, if you just had to play a 3D game on here, you could do it. So let's check out what these games look like. And here's some direct screen captures of the games.
On me. Move. Strike 2 to Monarch. Target eliminated. Confirm extraction location.
And so you could see that the 2D games and the simpler 3D represented games run very smoothly and have a good high resolution. And even the last two games that I showed you, the helicopter game and the first-person shooter game, are immersive 3D games, and they were represented decently well. It's not like a high-end tablet would have a smooth frame rate, but they had a decent frame rate with a little bit of lag. It was a little choppy, but they still represented some, I would say, medium resolution and half decent frame rate. So with the speakers on the device, there are the two on the top and two here on the bottom. They are what you would expect from a thin little device like this and small speakers. They're not the greatest. I don't even know if they would be passable for music. For music, they're rather tinny. For anything else, like just watching speech on YouTube or any kind of streaming and movies, the speech and the sound, like say the sound effects and that on movies won't be too bad, but you will get a lot better sound reproduction if you put earphones in. If you really want to hear the quality of a video or a movie or some music, headphones make a huge difference in sound. Depending on the quality of your headphones, it's going to sound very good through headphones. The other option is your Lenovo dock here. You can put the unit in the dock and it will play through the speakers on the dock itself, which are way better than the speakers on the tablet. I have a song here loaded up on YouTube and I'll play that for you. First I'll play it through the tablet. Alright, so that's the speakers through the tablet, and you can enable Bluetooth. And now it's playing through the dock. A lot better bass. A lot better sound reproduction all over. And so with the dock, it has a Bluetooth as I demonstrated. So you can connect any Bluetooth device to this and use these as its speakers. It has a volume control here, up and down, mute button here, and this plugs into a power outlet through this cord here. And what you do with it then is you can set your tablet in here and it will charge through the dock. Now there's two speakers in this unit and they're both 3-watt, 3-range speakers. Alexa is built into the dock and it's also operable through the tablet itself. So whether the tablet is docked or not, you can use Alexa. Alexa, what's the weather?
Right now in Mechanicsburg, it's 89 degrees Fahrenheit with partly sunny skies. Tonight's forecast has clouds with a low of 70 degrees.
Alexa, what is a Tyrannosaurus Rex?
According to Wikipedia, Tyrannosaurus is a genus of Coelurosaurian theropod dinosaur. The species Tyrannosaurus rex, often called T-Rex or colloquially T-Rex, is one of the most well-represented of the large theropods.
All right, that's enough.
Tyrannosaurus lived throughout what is now
Okay,
western North America.
Stop.
On what was then an island continent
Alexa.
known as Laramidia.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. And Alexa does work through the tablet itself without being hooked up to the dock. You just hit that icon there. And there it is. Alexa, how old is Harrison Ford?
Harrison Ford is 78 years old. He was born on July 13th, 1942.
Alexa, thank you.
You bet.
Here is a demonstration of the front-facing 5-megapixel camera. And now the 8 megapixel rear camera. Now the last thing I'm going to cover is the battery. The battery lasts rather long on this device. The battery dropped about 10 to 12% in an hour while I played games and watched YouTube videos. So those are a couple of moderately or pretty heavily intensive processes, and the battery only dropped a little bit. So I would imagine if I were to play maybe 8 to 10 hours, the battery would finally give out, and that's a good day's worth of using a tablet. I personally would never use a tablet that long, so the battery definitely should last the duration of a day for normal usage. And as far as charging goes, I haven't used the dock to charge it that much. I use the provided USB cord and plug the unit into a power outlet. And the tablet charge will go from about 60% to 100% in 2 hours. So that is a 40% charge in a couple of hours. That's a pretty good, pretty fast charge. Definitely, if you plug it in when you go to bed at night, by the time you get up in the morning, it's going to be fully charged. And so to wrap up, I would say that for the performance and quality of this device, the Lenovo Smart Tab P10 Android tablet is quite a worthy product. And whether you use it for playing games or browsing the internet or watching a video or just running apps and don't want to spend a lot of money, it's definitely an excellent mid-range tablet for a low-range price. I highly recommend it. This has been Odin the Tall with the Lenovo Smart Tab review. Thanks for watching.